Hi guys, welcome back to my channel or my podcast. My name is Naomi Dunn. This is Disrupt Your Norm. I am currently at a train station in Italy. I'm waiting for my train. I think I have like 10 minutes. So, however long it takes for the train to come, that's how long this episode will be. So, today I felt called to talk about inner work, what it is, what it isn't, the misconceptions. And yeah, I'm kind of freeballing this. I have no notes, but I speak a lot on inner work on this channel, so I'm sure you'll find more information in other videos as well. But today is specifically just on the topic of inner work. The first thing I want to share is the misconception with inner work. Now, when I was 18, I really got to understand my own psychology better. And I've been obsessed with psychology from a very young age, but I really dived into my own psychology at 18. And now I thought that was inner work. But let me tell you that understanding your own psychology is not inner work. It's recognition, and recognition is a huge part and a huge step to make change, but it's not often the change itself. Because if we just understood our own psychology, and if we just understood why we are the way we are, if we just understood what needs to happen, what needs to change, then we don't actually change. We just have more knowledge in our brain. And if you're on a journey of actually trying to make changes and become the person you want to be and grow in a specific area, then just understanding yourself will not be enough. So it's often the first step, but then inner work is what actually solidifies and creates that change in your life. So the first step may look like therapy. It may look like just understanding your own psychology by reading books, by watching more videos, more podcasts, etc. But oftentimes that isn't what creates the change. It's maybe the perspective shift you have when you're understanding your own psychology, like, oh, I'm the way I am because of this part of my childhood. Therefore, I don't actually need to be like this anymore because it's not relevant anymore. Like sometimes you have really profound perspective shifts when you're understanding your psychology. But you need to understand that obtaining knowledge is not inner work. Inner work is like multiple tools. There's multiple ways you can do inner work. Inner work is the shifts that happen. The work that's required. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard. Don't assume that because I'm saying the word work that it's hard work. So there's things you can do that are considered inner work, such as journaling and such as emotional releasing, but it's not just knowledge. If you think that the only thing you need to do is have more knowledge, then you can go on this path where you're almost obsessed with learning about your own psychology, obsessed with listening to podcasts, and obsessed with watching videos. But when you become obsessed with that without actually making the change that's needed, sometimes you just get into a place of dwelling. And then, for example, if you go to talk therapy and you feel like you've really figured out and understood at least the baseline of some of the issues that are happening with you, but you still continue to go and go and go and you're not seeing change, that's because what's happening is you're dwelling, and change can't happen when we just dwell. It's important to recognize, but it can be very unhelpful to dwell. I spent around 3 years just dwelling on my psychology. It helped in certain areas to dwell because I had a strong baseline, a strong foundation of understanding myself better and why I am the way I am in specific areas. You're never going to know all of the reasons, but I had a baseline. And there was some growth there. I immensely grew in confidence and became a better version of myself. But nothing compares to the growth that happened when I actually started to apply inner work. So what I did firstly is the work I did first, which a lot of people need to begin with, is understanding your emotional state and understanding, are you processing emotions well? Are you regulating your emotions? And how can you do it better? So for me, what that looked like was first accepting that emotions are okay and emotions are not bad, and allowing myself to feel them. Well, not even allowing, I tried my best at certain points and I actually couldn't. I had to actually find a tool to help me feel emotions. And feeling emotions, releasing emotions, getting rid of emotions trapped in the body is a huge, huge form and of inner work, and it's much more transformative than anyone could ever imagine until they learn about it. This is because it's really not just a cliche saying when they say you have to feel to heal. You physically have to feel to heal. And if you have traumas in the body that you haven't been able to get over and you're just trying to dwell and analyze and figure them out, but you're not actually feeling the pain you were supposed to feel when you were experiencing that trauma in the moment, you cannot heal from it. It's still in the body. Think of something physically in the body that needs to be taken out. How do you take it out? By feeling. How do you feel if you dissociate and you struggle with that? You find another form, whether that's journaling, whether that's having a coach or a therapist to talk with, whether that's EFT tapping. You have to find a form that helps you feel, and you have to be comfortable with the idea of feeling. So, changing your perspective, understanding, maybe studying emotions a little bit can really help you if you're a more logical person, which really helped me. It really, really helped me to understand the importance of releasing emotions, what can happen if I don't, and why it's actually not a scary thing. And that created a perspective shift in me to feel safer to feel those emotions. So, emotional releasing is huge. Another is I had a video I'm either going to release or I already have. And it's about getting triggered and how getting triggered can be one of the biggest blessings because it shows you that there's a wound and there's a wound that needs to be taken care of. And when you immerse yourself in that trigger, in that pain, in that sadness, in that anger, that's often where the answer lies, and you can find clarity after you feel it as to why you feel it and why you don't need to anymore. But it has to be felt first. Redefining is a huge part of inner work as well. It's seeing where our thoughts lie right now about certain situations that really, really, really bother us, that hurt us, that traumatized us, whatever it may be. Redefining our thoughts around it, actually deciding this is how I feel, recognizing this is how I feel about this right now, this is how I think about this right now. How could I redefine that thought? When you redefine thoughts and continuously play them in your head, you are rewiring neurotransmitters in your brain. You're changing habitual thoughts that do not serve you, do not serve your goals, and does not serve who you're trying to be is a huge form of inner work. So redefine what is not serving you. And this is where a therapist or a coach can be extremely beneficial for you as, and I'm not even saying this to promote myself whatsoever, I'm just saying this in general. It can be helpful to have guidance from somebody who understands inner work and understands and who can have clarity on a situation because they're not biased and they're not in it themselves, or they've been in it and they've gotten out of it. It can be really helpful to have that clarity because we oftentimes struggle with finding that clarity when we're in the depths of the emotion and we don't know how to process it. It's not a familiar thing to process. It's totally okay. It's very okay if you have a hard time finding clarity and you're having a hard time getting that clarity yourself. So that's where the therapist and the coach can help you. So I just want to reaffirm what I'm trying to tell you that inner work is not the information you're learning and it's not the knowledge you're obtaining. It's the steps you're taking, the tools you're using that actually create the change. Knowledge is important. Knowledge will help you, but it's not the step that's going to create the change. There's dwelling, there's understanding, and then there's understanding the subconscious belief about the situation. When you can understand the subconscious beliefs, it's so much easier to rewire those beliefs. And even if you don't understand them, you can decide what beliefs you want to have in your brain. And like I said, rewire your neural pathways to begin to believe the things that you're saying. It kind of sounds too simple, like just convince yourself and then you'll be it. There's actually science behind it because when you convince yourself of something and you convince yourself continuously, say you have a new belief that you desire to have, but you are struggling with your old one, every time the old one comes up, you say, no, that's the old me. I don't do that anymore. And you use the new belief. Oh no, my train is coming. You use the new belief and replace it with it. When you do that continuously, neural pathways change. All right, my train is here. I gotta go. Thanks, guys, for listening. Sorry if this was all over the place, but I hope you took from it and you enjoyed. All right, bye, guys.